Welcome to the Gentle English Podcast. I'm really glad you're here today. As always, this is a calm place, a place where you can slow down, breathe, and learn English naturally through meaningful stories and ideas. Today's episode is called Make Your Bed. But let me say something important from the beginning. This episode is not really about making your bed. It is about something deeper, something psychological, something powerful. It is about how small actions shape the way we think, how they shape our confidence, and how they quietly change our lives. As you listen, remember two things. First, you are improving your English listening. You are training your ears, your focus, your understanding. Second, you are learning an idea that can gently improve your daily life. So let's begin. Every morning when you wake up, there is a small moment, a moment most people ignore. You open your eyes, you sit up, you step out of bed, and there it is. Your bed. Messy or neat, ignored or cared for. For many people, making the bed feels useless. They think, why should I make my bed if I will sleep in it again tonight? What difference does it make? It's a waste of time. But psychology tells us something very different. Making your bed is not about the bed. It is about your mind. It is about how you start your day. It is about how you talk to yourself without words. It is about identity. When you make your bed, you are sending a quiet message to your brain. A message that says, I am someone who completes small tasks. I care about order. I respect my space. I can begin. This may sound simple, almost too simple, but simple things often carry the deepest power. In psychology, there is an idea that behavior shapes identity, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel disciplined to act disciplined. You act disciplined, and the feeling follows. Making your bed is one of the easiest ways to practice this. It takes only 1 or 2 minutes. No special skill, no money, no motivation required. Yet it creates a psychological shift. Let's talk about the first key psychological benefit. Making your bed creates a sense of completion. When you finish a small task early in the day, your brain receives a signal of success. Not a big success, not a dramatic success, but a quiet one. And that matters. Your brain likes progress. It likes closure. It likes finishing things. This small feeling of completion makes it easier to complete the next task, and the next one, and the next. In psychology, this is sometimes called a keystone habit, one small habit that influences many others. When your day begins with order, your mind feels slightly more organized. Not perfect, not stress-free, but steadier. Now, let me gently connect this to learning English. Many English learners feel overwhelmed. So many words, so many rules, so many mistakes. They think they need motivation first, but motivation often comes after action, not before. Listening to English for 5 minutes, repeating one sentence, learning one new word. These are like making your bed. Small completions build confidence. When you listen to this podcast today, you are already doing your version of making your bed. You are starting. Let's move to the second psychological benefit. Making your bed creates order in chaos. Life is messy. The world is noisy. Our minds are often full. We cannot control everything, but we can control small spaces. Your bed is one of them. When your bed is made, your room feels different, even if nothing else changes. This sense of order reduces mental stress. Psychologists know that physical clutter often increases mental clutter. A messy environment sends constant signals to the brain. Unfinished, unresolved, distracting. A made bed does the opposite. It says, this space is calm. This space is safe. This space is handled. This is especially important for people who feel anxious or overwhelmed. And again, think about English learning. Many learners say, my English is messy. I know some words, but not others. I feel confused. That's normal. Fluency does not come from knowing everything. It comes from organizing what you already know, listening regularly, hearing patterns, becoming familiar with sounds. This creates mental order, just like making your bed creates physical order. Now let's explore the third psychological benefit. Making your bed builds self-respect. This is not about impressing others. It's about how you treat yourself. When you make your bed, you are saying, I am worth a clean, calm space. My comfort matters. My effort matters. Even when no one sees it, especially when no one sees it. Self-respect grows from private actions, not public applause. This is powerful. Many people wait for confidence before acting, but confidence grows because you act. Each small promise you keep to yourself strengthens trust, and trust builds self-respect. Now think about your English journey when you show up to listen, when you practice even on tired days, when you continue even when progress feels slow. You are respecting yourself. You are telling yourself, my growth matters. My future matters. Fluency is not only language skill, it is self-trust. Let's continue. The fourth psychological benefit of making your bed is discipline without pressure. Discipline often sounds heavy, strict, uncomfortable. But real discipline is gentle. Making your bed is not extreme. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't exhaust you. It simply teaches consistency. You do it whether you feel like it or not. And this trains the brain. You learn that you don't need strong emotions to take action. You only need a decision. This is incredibly important for long-term goals. Like learning English. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel bored. But consistency beats emotion. Listening regularly, even when you don't feel excited, is how fluency grows, just like making your bed. Now let's slow down for a moment. If you feel distracted right now, that's okay. Gently bring your attention back to the sound of English, to the rhythm of the words, to your breathing. You are doing well. The fifth psychological benefit is control over your day. The world will demand things from you. Messages, problems, responsibilities. But making your bed is something you control. It is a choice that belongs only to you. This creates a sense of agency. Agency means feeling that your actions matter, that you are not just reacting to life, but participating in it. This feeling is deeply connected to mental health. And again, English learning works the same way. You cannot control how fast others learn. You cannot control every mistake. But you can control one thing: showing up, pressing play, listening again, continuing. That is agency. That is power. The sixth psychological benefit of making your bed is identity formation. Every action is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. When you make your bed, you vote for being organized, being responsible, being intentional. Not perfectly, but gradually. Identity is built through repetition, and this applies beautifully to language learning. Each time you listen to English, you vote for becoming an English speaker. Not fluent yet, not perfect, but becoming. Finally, the seventh psychological benefit is ending the day with peace. At night, when you return to your room, a made bed welcomes you. It feels calm, complete, prepared. Even if your day was difficult, even if things went wrong, you return to order. This creates emotional closure, and closure helps rest. In the same way, returning to English daily creates familiarity. The language stops feeling foreign, it starts feeling like home. And this is how fluency truly develops, not through pressure, but through presence, through gentle repetition, through calm listening, through small habits, repeated daily. Making your bed is never about perfection, it's about alignment. Starting small, staying consistent, respecting yourself. And today, by listening to this podcast, you have already made your bed. If you are still listening, that alone says something important about you. It says you can stay. It says you can focus. It says you can continue. And those qualities matter more than talent. Now let us go deeper into the psychology behind small habits. Our brains are not designed for sudden dramatic change. They are designed for repetition. Every time you repeat an action, your brain creates a pathway. The more you repeat it, the stronger that pathway becomes. This is called neuroplasticity. It means your brain is always learning, always adjusting, always shaping itself based on what you do. When you make your bed each morning, you are training your brain to associate mornings with completion. You are not thinking this consciously. You are teaching it silently. This is why habits are powerful. They work even when motivation disappears. Many people believe they need motivation to change their lives, but motivation is unstable. It comes and goes. Habits stay. Making your bed is a habit that teaches follow-through. You start something, you finish it. That lesson stays with you. Now think about how this applies to English learning. Many learners wait until they feel ready, until they feel confident, until they feel motivated. But fluency does not begin with confidence. Confidence begins with exposure. Listening every day, even briefly, trains your brain to recognize sounds, rhythm, and patterns. At first, everything feels unclear. The words feel fast, the meaning feels distant. But repetition changes this. Your brain begins to predict sounds, to recognize phrases, to feel familiar with the language. This is exactly how habits work. They create familiarity. Let's explore another psychological idea. Psychologists say that the brain prefers identity-based habits over outcome-based habits. Outcome-based thinking sounds like this. I want to be fluent in English. I want to be confident. I want to succeed. Identity-based thinking sounds different. I am someone who listens to English daily. I am a learner. I am becoming fluent. Making your bed is identity-based. You are not trying to become organized in one day. You are simply acting like an organized person, and over time, the identity follows. This is why small habits feel less heavy. They do not demand perfection. They demand presence. Now let's talk about resistance. There are days when you don't want to make your bed. You feel tired. You feel rushed. And there are days when you don't want to listen to English. Your mind says, tomorrow, later, not now. This resistance is normal. It does not mean you are lazy. It means you are human. The key is not fighting resistance with force. It is making the action so small that resistance has no power. Making your bed takes less than 2 minutes. Listening to English can take 5 minutes. This is why small habits survive. They fit into real life. Now let me gently connect this to fluency again. Many people think fluency comes from studying hard, from long hours, from pressure. But real fluency often comes from relaxed exposure. listening without panic, listening without translating every word, listening without judgment. This podcast is designed for that. You are not being tested. You are not being corrected. You are simply listening. Just like making your bed, this builds comfort. Comfort leads to consistency. Consistency leads to improvement. Now let us talk about self-talk. Every habit creates a story about who you are. If you avoid small tasks, your brain learns avoidance. If you complete small tasks, your brain learns capability. Making your bed teaches your brain, I can take care of things. Listening to English teaches your brain, I can handle this language, even if you don't understand everything yet. Understanding grows later. First comes familiarity. Another important psychological benefit is momentum. Momentum is the feeling of moving forward. When you make your bed, you are already in motion. It becomes easier to wash your face, to organize your desk, to begin your work. Small wins create energy, and energy fuels progress. This is why beginning matters more than finishing. Once you begin, your brain follows. This applies perfectly to English. The hardest part is pressing play. Once you do, your mind adjusts. You relax, you listen, you stay. And staying is where learning happens. Let's pause gently here. If your mind wandered, that's okay. Bring your attention back to the sound of English. You don't need to catch every word. Understanding will grow naturally. Now let's talk about time. Many learners say they don't have time, but time is rarely the problem. The problem is scale. They think learning English requires large blocks of time, but habits work in small spaces. 5 minutes daily is stronger than 1 hour once a week. Making your bed proves this. 1 minute every day creates a lifetime habit, and one daily listening session creates long-term fluency. Let's also talk about emotion. Habits reduce emotional decision-making. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like making my bed today? You just do it. This removes negotiation with your mind, and this is freedom. You are not controlled by mood, you are guided by identity. This is powerful. Now imagine your English learning like this. Instead of asking, do I feel confident enough today? You say, this is what I do. And you listen. Over time, fear fades. Not because it disappears, but because it loses importance. Another deep psychological benefit of small habits is trust. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, trust grows. Trust creates confidence. Confidence creates calm. And calm improves learning. An anxious brain learns poorly. A calm brain absorbs. This is why pressure slows fluency. Gentle repetition accelerates it. Making your bed is gentle. Listening to English calmly is gentle. And gentleness is strength. As we move forward, remember this. You are not trying to change your life in one day. You are shaping it quietly, through small actions, through repeated choices, through presence. And this brings us to the final part of our journey, because habits are not just about starting the day. They are about becoming someone new. As we come to this final part, I want you to notice something important. You are still here. You stayed, you listened, you continued. And that matters more than you think. This is the same principle we have been talking about from the beginning. Small actions, repeated choices, quiet consistency. They shape who you become. Now let us bring everything together. Making your bed is not about discipline in a strict sense. It is about identity. Every day you are becoming someone, not through big decisions, but through small behaviors. When you make your bed, you are practicing being someone who finishes what they start. someone who creates order, someone who respects their own space. This happens even if you don't think about it. And when you listen to English regularly, the same thing happens. You are not just learning vocabulary. You are becoming a person who listens to English, a person who is comfortable with the language, a person who shows up. Fluency is not a sudden moment. It is not an event. It is an identity that forms slowly. Many learners believe fluency comes after confidence, but psychology shows us the opposite. Confidence comes after familiarity, and familiarity comes from repetition. That is why pressure does not work. Pressure makes the brain tense. A tense brain resists learning, but calm repetition tells the brain, this is safe. This is familiar. This is normal. Over time, the language stops feeling foreign. It begins to feel natural. This is why listening is so powerful. You are not forcing words into your mind. You are allowing the language to settle. Just like returning to a made bed at night, English becomes a place you return to, a place that feels known. Let us talk about patience. Patience is not waiting without action. Patience is continuing without panic. Making your bed teaches patience. You don't expect it to change your life in one day. You trust the process. The same is true for English. You don't need to understand everything today. You don't need to speak perfectly. You only need to continue. One episode, one listening session, one moment of exposure, this is enough. Now let us talk about failure. Some days you will skip. Some days you will forget. Some days you will feel unmotivated. This does not erase progress. Psychology tells us that identity is shaped by trends, not single moments. Missing one day does not break a habit. Quitting does. So when you miss a day, simply return. Return calmly. Without guilt. Making your bed is forgiving. If you skip one morning, you can still make it the next. English learning is the same. There is always a next moment. Another important idea is self-compassion. Many learners are hard on themselves. They say, I should be better by now. I'm too slow. I make too many mistakes. But learning does not respond well to criticism. It responds to safety. When you are kind to yourself, your brain opens. When you feel safe, learning accelerates. This podcast is not here to rush you. It is here to walk with you at your pace. Now let us return to the idea of the day ending. At night, when you come back to a made bed, something happens. Your body relaxes, your mind slows down. There is a sense of completion. In the same way, returning to English daily creates closure. It tells your brain, this is part of my life. This belongs here. And when something belongs, it stops feeling difficult. It becomes routine, and routine is powerful. The most fluent speakers did not learn through constant effort. They learned through constant exposure. They lived with the language. You are doing that now. Quietly, gently, consistently. Making your bed is a reminder. You don't need big motivation to change your life. You need small alignment. You don't need to feel ready. You need to begin. And you already have. Before we end, I want to say this clearly. If you are learning English right now, you are already disciplined. You are already patient. You are already becoming fluent, even if you don't feel it yet. Growth often happens silently, just like a bed being made each morning. The effect is subtle but lasting. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and you see your bed, remember what it represents. Not perfection, not control, but presence. And when you press play on the next English episode, remember this too. You are not behind. You are not late. You are building something real, one small action at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing. This is the Gentle English Podcast. Rest well, and I will be here with you again very soon.